let me tell you, these are the things that we did. Okay. I have written it, I have underlined it. We finished the application part of Joule's law of heating. We also studied, how the electric power can be denoted in the various forms with respect to the formulas as well. So if you see here, you can see that we have power which can be taken as current into voltage. Power is directly proportional to the amount of current flowing through a particular circuit, and potential difference is taken across the two ends of the cell or the battery. Battery is a system of cells, right? So we see that the formula that we have got is VI. Along with that, we also did few changes. What did we do? We just took this voltage over here that we have just taken it as nothing but, if you see, we have taken it as I into R. Okay, what is IR? According to Ohm's law, we have written it here. According to Ohm's law, voltage is equivalent or equal to current into resistance, right? Resistance is the amount of prohibition. It prevents the flow of electricity across a current, right? So we derived it, and power can also be called as I square R. We just took I into R. And if you want to express the current in the form of V by R, which is again the same Ohm's law being used here, it can also be called as V square by R. Okay, the SI unit of power that we got according to the standard systems followed in India, we have watt. We call it as watt, WATT. So how do you define 1 watt? Okay, if you see here, you can see that 1 watt can be defined as the power dissipated or the energy that is being consumed for 1 ampere of electric current to flow across 1 volt of the potential difference across the conductor, right? This is the meaning of power. 1 watt of power. Watt is a very small unit. We do not usually express the power in terms of watt, so we use a kilowatt. 1 watt is equal to how much? It is equal to 1 watt is nothing but 10 to the power minus 3 kilowatt, right? Or 1 kilowatt can be nothing but 10 to the power 3 watt. This is how we can write it. Okay, we can use it for derivation and the use in the questions. And then we see that 1 kilowatt hour. Why do we use hour? Because heat or energy, this is the idea behind understanding that heat can be denoted in terms of power into time. The total amount of work done to dissipate some amount of energy in certain period of time. Okay, time is taken in seconds. Why? Because the SI unit of time is seconds. Okay, the SI unit of power is what, but we usually don't use what, just because it's very small in measurement. Okay, small in measurements. So what we do is we take it as kilowatt, right? So you can take it as kilowatt, and then since it's kilowatt hour, you can just derive both of them, and you can simplify it into watt and then seconds, because 1 hour is 3600 seconds, 16 to 60. Okay, and 1 kilowatt is 1000 watts. So you derive it like this, you get 36 into 10 to the power 5 in the scientific notation, right? You know what is a scientific notation. Okay, all right. Or you can also make sure that you write it in the form of 3.6 into 10 to the power 6. Both are correct. Okay, all right. So these are the things that you need to understand. Let me give you some numerical questions here. Okay, there are certain numerical questions. I will just write it down, and most of the in-text questions also we will do it, okay, on your certain page number. So please sit with your textbook at least. Yeah, please sit with your textbooks. Okay, all right. So let me just give you some questions here. And yes, I'm just going to have a look at them first. What the questions are, let me scroll down. And any kind of doubts, let me know. I would be repeating it. That's completely fine. Okay, yeah. So if you look at the questions, okay, let's do some numerical questions based on this. Then we will do the in-text questions. So the questions are nothing but related to electric power. Okay, so there's an example 12.2. I mean 12.12, not 2. 12.12 on page number, I think it is going to be 20, not 21 exactly. It is 219. 219. Okay, page number 219. Okay. So what are the questions that you have? The question is about an electric bulb is connected to 220 volt generator. So I'll just write the question. An electric bulb, okay, is connected to 220 volt of generator. So you have voltage. This 220 volt can become the voltage. Okay, so you have one quantity being given to you. Then they are telling us the current. Okay, the current is how much ampere? 0.50 ampere. Okay, what is the power of the bulb? Very simple and direct question. Okay, what is the power of bulb? Okay, so how do you make sure that you solve this? You will use which formula? The power formula, which is related to the voltage and the current. So what is the formula? It is none other than
V into I.
Very good. It's none other than power is equal to voltage into current. Lovely. Okay, so great. We will use that formula. Solution will be what? Power is equal to voltage into current. Very simple, very direct formula. Okay, P is equal to V by, not V by, I mean it's V into I. Okay, P is power. You are supposed to find out power. Voltage, so you can write down the given things. Okay, no worries. Right now I'm just making sure that you understand it. These are the things. This is your current. I'm just trying to denote it here itself. Okay, so V is nothing but your 220 and I is 0.50. So since it's a decimal, what we can do here is, instead of writing it as 0.5, we can try denoting it as, either 5 by 10 or 5 by 100. It will be easier for us to calculate. Okay, so we can just cancel the zeros, and then 22 into 5 will be 110, and the unit will be in watt. Until and unless it's given to mention in kilowatt, please do not do that. Okay, keep it in watt itself. So you got your answer? Yes. So that's how you do it. Okay, that's how you do it. All right. So these are the ways of doing it. Okay, any kind of doubts or any kind of questions here? No questions? Okay, let me tell you one thing. Okay, this watt can also be called as, what? Joule per second. Okay, so it can be called as 110 joules per second also. So just remember, joules per second itself is your watt. Okay, you can call this as joules per second. Okay, all right, so let's highlight this here. I'll be writing the next question for you, and then we'll just discuss the page number questions. Okay, different page numbers. So at that time we'll just discuss it orally and we'll write down the points of those questions. Now 12.13, question number 12.13 on page number, this would be your again 219 and 220 actually. If you see the solution, they have given it on 219 as well as 220. Okay. Now, the question is an electric refrigerator. Okay. So they're talking about electric refrigerator. One second, I'll just correct the spelling of it. It's I, refrigerator. Okay. Is rated as 400 watt. That's the power. Okay. It is operating how many hours per day? 8 hours per day. So it's not operating all the 24 hours right now. They have just given us a condition. Okay. Now they are also telling what is. Okay. What is the cost of energy? What is the meaning of energy? Energy is nothing but your power or heat. So basically heat is nothing but power expressed in some time. So these are the things, okay, that we have. So they are telling what is the cost of energy, okay, to operate in how many days? To operate in 30 days, or let's say for 30 days at a particular rate, which is rupees 3 per kilowatt hour. This is H. Okay. So how to actually take up these things? Okay. How to actually take up these things? So let us start the solution part of it again. Okay. Let's write down the given conditions or the given information. What is given? P, power is given, which is 400 watt. Okay. Time is given.
8 hours per day.
Very good. So yes, everybody be interactive. Okay. 8 hours per day. The session gets recorded. Okay. Sessions are getting recorded for you to have a look at them after the class as well. Okay. So do not worry about it. Try out your best. Keep asking the questions. Do not worry. If you have to arrange for extra classes, we will do it. That's okay. All right. Now, what is the cost of energy to operate in 30 days, right? So 30 days is the total time. Sorry, not total time. That's the number of days. Sorry. We'll just write number of days here. Time is 8 hours per day. Okay. Number of days is given as 30 and amount is given or cost is given. Cost is given per kilowatt hour. Okay. So right now we just have what? Probably we have to convert it. Okay. Probably we have to convert it into kilowatt. Now, which formula you think you can actually use over here? So let's calculate it for 1 day first. What is the energy dissipated, right? Or what is the cost? So you can either do it for 1 day and then multiply 30 with it. Or if you want, you can do it directly. If you are smart enough, do it directly. Okay, no problem.
So we can multiply 400 into
Very
8
good.
into 30 into 3.
Yes. So basically what we are doing is here, we have the power, but still they are asking us to calculate energy. That means this energy consumed or the cost is nothing but your heat. What is heat? Power into time. Power into time. So you will use this formula now. Okay. Yes, that's correct. So as Maya says, it will be H, or let me just write it at the bottom. Not everything in the single line. Might not look that great. 1 second. Time. And H is equals to P into T, right? So H will be equal to how much? P is 400. Okay, it's in watt. Let us write it down as watt and then multiply it with 10 to the power minus 3 to convert it into what? Kilowatt. You can either do that also since it's in watt, right? So you can either do that also, or what else you can do? You can just keep it, simple as in watts itself. Later you can convert the overall answer. Anything is fine. So let me do it like this. So when I'm multiplying it with 10 to the power minus 3, then what I will do is, then I will remove this W from here and I'll directly write kilowatts. Okay, because I have already converted it. Converting a smaller unit to a larger unit requires division. Division can be taken as 10 to the power minus 3. We know that. Next, time. What is the time? 8 hours a day. So it's 8 hours. So let it be hours. We are not converting it into seconds because it's not required. This is for one day, for 8 hours. Similarly, on all the 30 days also, it will keep operating. Every day, 8 hours. So multiplying it with 30 again. So you just say time per day. In one day, you have how many hours, right? Into number of days. So basically, you are also multiplying the number of days. So everything you multiply, and let us just write it down over here. I'll just write 1,000 here because it will be easy to cancel out, and let's do that. Okay, that's the reason. That's the reason. 8 fours are 32. Okay, 32 into 3, whatever you get, will be 96 kilowatt hour. Directly you can write your answer. So the refrigerator will require 96 kilowatt hour of heat or energy for the 30 days. Okay, if the cost is rupees 3 per kilowatt hour. Okay, any kind of questions or any kind of doubts? Gautami,
Actually,
Maya,
I
and
didn't
Sachin?
actually understand kilowatt hour and kilowatt.
Kilowatt hour and kilowatt. Okay, so basically, let me tell you what it means here is, suppose if I have, okay, Gautami says no doubts. All right. So let's check this out. What is 1 watt? It is nothing but unit of power. So basically SI unit of power, right? 1 watt is one particular unit of power, right? SI unit of power. Watt is very small. So we do not consider that because the electricity that is being supplied, not only at our homes, but anywhere in the circuits, that will be having a unit of kilowatt hours. Okay, so what we do is, since this is 1 watt here, I can write this as 1 kilowatt first. We'll understand what is 1 kilowatt. Just like you have grams and kilograms, right? 1 gram is equal to 10 to the power minus 3 kilograms, or 1 kilogram is equal to 10 to the power 3 grams or 1000 grams. Similarly, 1 gram is 1 by 1000 kilograms. Okay. So 1 kilowatt will be a much bigger unit of power, where it is nothing but 10 to the power 3. Yes.
So it will be
Now,
equal to 1 by
1000
watt.
Yeah, 1 by 1000 will be this one. 1 by 1000 kilowatt.
Yes, ma'am. So
1 watt. Yes.
1 kilowatt, I mean 1 watt will be equal to 1 by 1000 kilowatt.
Which is nothing but 10 to the power minus 3. That's the reason I have written it here directly. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
That's the reason I have written it. And if you don't want to write it as 10 to the power minus 3, you can again bring it in the denominator. Okay, 400 into 1 by 1000 is nothing but 400 by 1000. Okay, multiply it with 8 hours, 8 hours in one day. So in 30 days, how many hours? 240 hours, 8 into 30, right? Now, kilowatt hour, since you had a question about kilowatt hour, now kilowatt is done. Now let's take kilowatt hour. This kilowatt hour is nothing but 1 kilowatt is 10 to the power 3 watt. Okay. Hour, 1 hour. Okay. So this way you can express. If you want to express it in joules per second, then how can you do it? So while expressing anything in joules per second, what happens is hour has to be converted into seconds. And watt has to be watt itself, because watt per second, watt into second is nothing but that joules per second. Okay, so kilowatt hour is nothing but joules per second actually. Yeah, this is what I wanted to say. So 1 hour is nothing but 60 minutes. 60 minutes into 60 seconds, so 3600 seconds totally, and this is 10 to the power 3 watt. Let us write 36 as it is and multiply it with the total number of zeros. 3 zeros in 10 to the power 3 and 2 zeros after 36 we have, which makes it 3600. So if we take all the zeros and use which law? Exponents law, having the same base and the different powers. So we add the powers. So to become 10 to the power 5, because 3 zeros
We have
here,
5
2 zeros here, 10 to the power 5 will be joules per second. Okay. Or this is kilowatt hour. It's the same thing. Or you can also write it as 3.6 into 10 to the power 6 joules per second or kilowatt hour. This is about kilowatt hour and joules per second. Okay. Any kind of questions here? Just let me know. Yes. Any kind of questions are there? You can work on it. No worries. So let's go ahead then. Okay, let's go ahead to the in text questions. Okay. All right. See, we have discussed everything in the chapter. So rather than writing everything, since we are just discussing the questions and answers, see, numericals can be done. That's not a problem. But all the other things we have in the textbook, we have learned it in the same manner and notes will be provided. So let us start with the questions itself. I think we will take this page first. I think page number, let me just check that out. Where do you start with questions? So I don't think you have any questions on page number, 199. You don't have any questions, but you do have questions on page number 200. Okay, so we can start with page number 200 questions. Okay, all right. So let me first scroll down. Okay. All right. So let's start with it. Okay. So right now we are doing in-text questions. The questions which are there inside the textbook, inside the chapter, not in the exercise, but inside the chapter. Okay. So the first one is on page 200. What is the first question on page number 200? I'll just read the question out. It says, what does an electric circuit mean? How do you answer these questions? So what is an electric circuit? First
current
thing,
in the flow of current in
electric current is flow of current. What is electric circuit?
It consists of
Basically.
switch,
Very
bulb,
good.
cell.
Very good. Very good. Yes, lovely. Very good. Okay, excellent. So electric circuit, my dear students, is nothing but a circuit. As soon as they ask you a question, what is electric circuit? Just think about the circuit diagram of electric flow of the current. Just think about electric circuit. Whatever components are required in electric circuit, those will be the components which make up the whole electric circuit. So you can just say it comprises, I'm just writing it everything in short here because I've already explained these things. So you can say it comprises of a battery, which is nothing but group of cells. You can write it down here. Okay. Then what else it will have? It will have a battery. Then it will have a ammeter, right? To read the value of current. It will have voltmeter to read the value of voltage or potential difference or electric potential. It will have a rheostat. Sorry, one second. What is rheostat? it is again a device to measure resistivity. Okay, it is a device used to measure resistivity. Actually, you can have resistances, you can have not resistances, actually resistors. Okay, resistors measure resistance. Then you have switches are also called as keys. Okay, which kind of switch? Closed switch, not an open switch, because if the switch is open, the flow of current will not take place. What else? You have a bulb, right, etc. If you want, you can connect all your electrical appliances, no worries with that. Okay, so these are the things that you have in an electric circuit. Okay, so if you want to write down what is electric circuit, this is what it contains. Now, how will you write it down? So basically, you can just say that any circuit, okay, consisting of electrical devices. These are electrical devices. All of this mentioned here are nothing but electrical devices. Okay, so basically, if you have a group of so many electrical devices which are either connected in series or parallel, those are the connections. Don't worry about that. So any circuit consisting of electric devices first, then you can also write along with the source of energy. You can just write along with the source of energy. Very important. Source of energy is very important. Okay, along with source of energy. Okay, and source of energy, or this energy is nothing but electricity. Since you are talking about electricity chapter, it's better to write down electricity. Okay, it's better to write down electricity. It's the same thing. Okay, it's the same thing. Okay, which are connected by conducting wires. They have to be connected together. Okay, they have to be connected by which kind of wires? Conducting wires. Okay, yes, please tell me.
Mama was about to tell that.
Okay, all right, connected by conducting wires. Okay, like this you have to write down your answers. Okay, conducting wires. See, the devices that you gave, the examples of, those are the devices. But how is your electric circuit going to look like? All the devices connected with conducting wires. Don't just write wires. It can be any wire. No, it can also be insulating wire. So you need to make sure that the flow of electrons take place. Flow of electrons will induce charge. Charge will induce electricity. Okay, so please write down your answers in such form. So this whole thing is your answer, which you can understand here. Okay, all right. Now, what are the other things we can do? The other things that we can do is nothing but the second question. What is the second question? Question second, or the second question tells us define the unit of current. So what is unit of current? Quickly, what is the SI unit of current, or just the unit of
ampere?
current? Yes, it's ampere. Ampere. Okay, ampere. You denoted by a capital A. Very good. So don't just write this. If I tell you, don't just write this. Write down what is 1 ampere equal to. If it is for 2 marks, or even if it's for 1 mark, no, write it down. It's not that they won't give you marks if you just write ampere and leave it, but as you write professional answers, right, so that nobody can scratch out your answer, nobody will even try touching your marks. So what you can say is 1 ampere is the current that flows, okay, through the circuit or through the electric circuit. Anything you can write, it's understood, through the circuit to move 1 second. I'll just rewrite this part. Yeah, to move 1 What is the SI unit of charge? Charge is denoted by Q. It's coulomb. To move 1 coulomb of charge in 1 second. Okay, you will write it like this. You will write it like this. Everything in SI units. Basically, your current I, okay, if you want, you can just write it like this. I in ampere should be equal to nothing but Q by T. Q is the charge. Okay, Q is in coulomb. Q is the symbol of charge. Charges are positive, negative, and neutral. We are talking about electrons, so it will be negative charge. That's okay, no problem. Okay, so Q divided by time, T in seconds. This is how you need to define it to make sure that you do not lose even a single mark. It'll be good if you just write only ampere. Since they just asked only about ampere, that's great, but it'll be good to define it. Okay. Yes. All right. Any kind of questions still here? Yes, no questions. So from the next time, okay, try joining a little bit early, so that we can finish it. And don't worry about extra classes. I will try to talk with, the management. We can try to, cover up it on the weekends. Okay. All right. So weekends in the sense on Saturdays and all, if we can include some classes so that we can cover it up for you. Okay. All right. Now we have done this. What is the third question? The third question is about, if you read it, it says that calculate the number of electrons constituting 1 coulomb of charge. Okay, so you need to basically find the total number of electrons in 1 coulomb of charge. Okay, so how many it would be. It's 6 into 10 to the power 18. But how do you derive that? Okay, so to derive that, we have already seen that Q is equal to NE, right? So we'll see how we can use it again to derive it. Sorry, I'm just going up. I have to go down. Okay, third question. Sorry, it was the highlighter by mistake. Yeah, third question. Okay, I'm just reading the question. All these questions are in your textbook, so no need to write them. Yeah, writing the numerical is not a problem. Okay, but numericals also, if it's there, we'll just write the pointers. That should be, more than enough. Okay, now they are asking you, how do you find the number of electrons in 1 coulomb of charge? 1 coulomb of charge can be denoted as 1 C. C is the coulomb. Okay. It can also be denoted as Q. Basically, Q is nothing but 1 coulomb of charge. We also know the formula of Q is equal to N into E, where Q is 1 coulomb of charge. Okay, 1 coulomb of charge. Okay, N is number of electrons. N is number of electrons. Okay, E is the charge of an electron. Electrons are negatively charged. They keep moving randomly in the outermost shells of any atom, right? So charge of an electron. Okay, we need to find the number of, right? They asked you to find N. So what is N? Using this formula, what will be N? Q by E. So what is Q? It's just 1. What is the charge of an electron? 1.6 into 10 to the power. How much? A plus 19 or a minus? Plus or minus? Minus. Right? Very good. That's all. So just write it down here. Okay. And Once you start solving that, what will happen is, see, so it's 1 by 1.6. It's not easy to solve the decimal. So what we do is we just multiply it with a 10. So numerator also with a 10, denominator also with a 10. So 10 by 16. And 10 to the power minus 19, we'll take it to the upward side. Will become plus 10 to the power, 10 to the power plus 19. Okay, if you just put it in the numerator, right? Using laws of exponents. Now 10 by 16, let's try to simplify it. So 10 by 2 is a 5, 6 by 2 is 8. More than enough. You can't simplify further. So let's try to see what we get. 5 divided by 8. 8 zeros should be 0. And then you get a 50. So 8 6 is a 48 you get. Then 2. So up to 2 decimals should be more than enough. So 8 2s are 16 you get. Okay. And then 4 and 6 to 5 you can get approximately. Okay. Let's just write it down. 0.625 into 10 to the power 19. Okay. Or if you want, just write only till 2 decimals. It's more than enough for you. Now 0.625 is how much? 625 by 1000 into 10 to the power 19. Okay. Then what we can do is we can just cancel out the zeros. Okay, here we have 19 and here we have 3 zeros. So it'll become 10 to the power 16. Okay. And you can express this as 625 into 10 to the power 16. Or if you want to be more specific, let me scroll down. And how do you write it? 6.2. When you say it's a 6.2, then the power will increase. How many decimals are there after 6.25, right? So approximately it's 6.25 actually. Okay, which we take it as 6.2. Okay, so this will become 10 to the power 18. So hence it is 6.2 into 10 to the power 18. Okay, sorry. 1 second. Yeah, this is how you get. See, this is the derivation part of it. Okay, 6.25. See, 6.25 could have been taken as 6.3 also, but it's a bit huge number. So it's just 6.2. Or people also call it as 6. To be more specific, and if you want to round it off more, it's 6 into 10 to the power 18. That's how you will get it. Okay. What is that? Number of electrons, N. Number of electrons. Okay, this is how you will do the questions. Yes, let's move further then. So now the page number 200 questions are done. If you have any questions, do let me know. Any questions? Anybody? Maya, Gautami, Sachin, any doubts? No doubts?
No doubts.
Okay, great. So there's a chat. Gautami says no doubts. Okay, great. So let's scroll down then. I think this is the end of this page. No, it's still, we have a lot of page. Okay, so let us go to the next page where we'll have the questions. So now we will proceed towards the page number 202. Okay, on the page number 202, because I don't think you have anything on page number 201. So let's go to page number 202. Okay, so on page 202, there are 3 more questions. They are telling, the first question is, name a device that helps to maintain a potential difference across a conductor. They are just telling, name the device which helps to find what? To maintain potential difference. What is the name of the device which helps you to calculate the potential difference? That is a, quickly tell me.
Voltmeter.
That is a voltmeter. We have not yet studied any other device till now in this chapter. So CBSE is not asking any question out of syllabus. So it is a voltmeter. Voltmeter is used for what? It is used for measuring potential difference or electric potential. Both are the same. Okay. Electric potential. Electric potential. How much potential the battery has for the current to be conducted, etc., etc. Okay. Now, after this, what else do we have? So this is done. After this, we have the other things. Basically, yeah. So basically, this is name a device, right? You can use a voltmeter also, or let me also tell you one thing. Okay, I think, wait a second. What is the question? The question is name a device that helps to maintain a potential difference, not to measure a potential difference. Okay, it is used for measuring. That is what I have written. But is the question asking for measuring it? They're asking which device helps to maintain. Which device helps to maintain the flow of electric current? What are those? Battery or cell? Okay, the power supply. These are your answers. Okay, to measure potential difference, we have voltmeter. To maintain potential difference, we don't use voltmeter. Okay, so that's what I wanted to see. I even wrote it. It is used to measure, not to maintain. Maintaining is what? Maintenance is done by such components which are always used in the circuit. Suppose if you just have a voltmeter and if you don't have a battery, if you don't have, let's say, this thing, what do you say, the power supply or the connecting wires, will a voltmeter be able to give you the potential difference value? It is of no use. If you don't have the circuit itself, the wires itself which connect together to form a circuit, then what happens? It won't be able to measure. So let me write it very clearly. Okay, let me write it very, very, very clearly. Voltmeter is used for measuring electric potential, but to maintain, okay, potential difference. Okay, what are the things that are used? Conducting wires. Conducting wires are used. Battery is used. Okay, and you can also say power supply, because that is the most important thing. Power supply. Okay,
Closed
measuring
circuit
and
also
maintaining.
be written?
Sorry, what happened?
Can a closed circuit also be written?
Yes, closed circuit is nothing but, yes, it is important. You can just say power supply in a closed circuit. You can just write everything and tell that in a closed circuit. Closed circuit is very important. Okay. Yes, so very good. Be very careful while answering your questions. Measuring electric potential, voltmeter. Maintaining electric potential. So electric potential is your potential difference. So let me just write down, or potential difference. Otherwise, you might think it is different. No, it is not different. Okay. Two different colors, I have written it. Okay, for you to understand it properly. Okay. All right. Now, what is the next question? See, these are theoretical based questions and not much difficult also. So the second question is, what is meant by saying that the potential difference between the 2 points is 1 volt? Okay. Now, how do you answer such questions? They are asking you, what will you make sure that you call a statement when a potential difference between any 2 points? What are those 2 points? The terminals of battery, positive and negative terminals, right? So basically, when you're talking about this, you can just say that, for example, 1 joule of work, 1 joule of work, okay, which is required, okay, to move 1 coulomb, okay, 1 coulomb of charge from one terminal. So this one terminal can be negative to positive. See, current flows from positive to negative or negative to positive? Tell me. Now, this is a good question. From positive to negative it flows, okay, of the battery, okay. That's the reason the positive terminal is connected to the positive terminal of ammeter, negative terminal of the battery is connected to negative terminal of ammeter, okay. So you can call it as positive, okay, terminal to another terminal, one terminal to the other terminal. So this another terminal will be your negative. There is a chat. Let me check that out. Yes. Oh, okay. No problem. That's all right. Okay, that's all right. From one terminal to another terminal. No problem, Sachin. You can leave if your battery is too low. Yeah. All right. So another terminal. Okay. Now this is your 1 volt. So this is how you define 1 volt. Okay. So 1 joule of work required to move 1 coulomb of charge from one terminal to another terminal or one point to other point. See, these are the various ways students can write answer. To another point is defined as 1 volt. So how to write its mathematical expression? How can I write it down? Is defined as 1 volt. We saw that current is nothing but Q by T, right? So how do you write this thing? 1 coulomb of charge, right? So basically your 1 volt is nothing but 1 joule of work done to move 1 coulomb of charge. So 1 volt is equal to 1 joule into 1 coulomb. You can also say that voltage is equal to work into Q or Q into W. Q is the charge. Okay. W is work done or the rate of doing work to move a charge, right? And V can be potential difference. Okay, so these are your very, very important things that you should understand and define the answers in such a manner. Okay. Okay, you should define it. Okay. If there's any kind of doubts, to let me know. If anything that you do not understand. Okay. We'll do the last question. Okay, for today. Okay. And then we will meet in the next class. We'll finish it. Okay. The third question is, how much energy is given, I think, to each coulomb of charge passing through a 6 volt battery. Okay, they want you to calculate the energy, right? So how do you do this? Okay, so how to do this? Oh, I think I have written this a bit incorrect. I'm sorry. There's a small thing that needs to be changed. It'll be work done by charge. Okay. Yeah. It's work done by coulomb. Okay, the charge. I'm sorry for that. I made a small mistake. It's not multiplication. It is division. Sorry. Okay. Be very, very careful. You should tell me. Okay. Right? This is important. V is equal to W by Q. I is equal to Q by T. Okay, I is equal to Q by T. So how do you write this down? Okay, similar kind of question. So the third part of this question, how do you define it? Basically, you know that potential difference is equal to work done by charge. You can write it as Work done. Okay, Maya and Gautami, it is work done by charge, not multiplication. Okay, be very careful. So now, how do you do this? Right. So they are telling us if 1 volt is nothing but equal to 1 joule per 1 coulomb, right? So they are talking about 6 volt battery, no? So if it is going to be 6 volt battery, then how much energy it will be? 1 joule is energy. Energy is nothing but work done. So if 1 volt is required to move 1 joule, then 6 volts will be required to move 6 joules, right? That is what it will be. Okay, so your answer is 6. Very simple, because it's directly proportional. So hence you will write 6 volt of potential difference is required to move how much? Is required to move how much? 6 joules itself of I mean 6, it's nothing but 6 joules, you can say, which is nothing but the work done to move, sorry, not exactly to move, to basically, as according to the question, is required to produce 6 joules of energy. That was the question. Okay, 6 joules of energy. Why? The reason behind this is as voltage is directly proportional to what? To joules. Joules is the unit of energy or heat, and work done. The work is also called as energy. Okay. Any questions here? If they ask you how much, this thing, joules would be required to move, let's say 120 volt. So 120 joules. Okay, it's directly proportional to it. Oh, sorry, 1 second. So we are done with this question. Any questions? Please tell me before we leave. And be very careful with the formulas. It's W by C as W by Q, not W into. Okay, be very, very careful. Okay, so we are almost done with this. Okay, we'll meet in the next class. So please do share your feedbacks as well. Okay, Maya and Gautami, any questions?
No,
Yes,
ma'am.
kids, tell me. No questions? Understanding it? Okay, I hope you're comfortable. So we'll finish it in the next class. As I said, only questions need to be discussed. Most of the questions must be repeating also. So we'll finish it. Okay. All right. So bye. Take care. See you in the next class. Okay. Keep